Right, we're live. There we go. How you doing, Rod?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
Yeah,
Oh,
not too bad. You know,
I'll just
making the
put
best
the
of
comments on.
making the best of a weird situation, as we all are.
It's not been as bad for us over here, I don't think, as you guys, because you've literally had your freedom and what did you call it, your liberties taken away.
Pretty much.
You know, had this virus not happened and it had done it, there'd have been riots. You know, like I would imagine. You know, you're taking away our civil liberties and everything. So, anyway.
Well, a certain section of society, not so much here, but certainly in America, are kicking off, even though it's been put in place to save your life. It's like, really? But yeah, let's not get political. We've only been going a minute.
No.
Yeah, welcome. We are live. We've got a live side chat, so please pop in and say hi. Basically, this is just our chance to hang out and have a bit of a moan, if you like. Rod and I share a kind of moany old man complex now and again. Say a few hellos. We've got James in. Hi there. Yorkshire Reseller. Oh, I've not seen that name before. Ivan, Leopard Gecko. Horses are a kind of fruit that doesn't exist.
Righto.
Is he talking about coconut shells there? He's talking about... Yeah? I don't know. It's lost on me. Hi, Leanne. Good to see you. Oh, there's Edward or Walter. Either will do. Mr. Blobby.
What, Edward?
Hey?
It's just said Edward Walter and then Mr. Blobby. I'm like, it won't like that.
No, he's losing a lot of weight. He's on a mission. Edward. Yeah. Sean. Oh, Owen just received a return request claiming damage and missing battery. The item was listed for parts, missing battery, and the broken part indicated. Yeah, I mean, we've all been there. I mean, yeah, they just don't. People don't read the title sometimes, let alone the description, right?
I think that's the fault of the mobile app. I really do. People see the picture and then and the page just disappears and they don't read the description. I've said for years there should be a general IQ test before you're allowed to either buy or sell on eBay. You know, because the level of stupidity of some people, both, I'll put resellers in that group as well. I mean, there's some, you know, there's idiots on all levels, but I'll put myself in. You know, I mean, I've made some shocking decisions in the past, and you know, we still do. We're human, but really, the buyers on eBay, they need a basic IQ test before they're allowed to go.
I think though, if they had to pass a test in order to shop on eBay, we'd lose 50% of our custom, wouldn't we?
Oh, only that much.
Only messing. Adrian is in. Charlie's RCs. There's Lainey. Hi. Hey, lovely and grumpy people. I do have something I can moan about. I moaned about it quite well on Sunday.
Something? I have a list.
Oh, can't wait. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. There's Peter. Good to see you, Pete. Laura, Watcher. I'll be here. Oh, Derek was live. Did a little short live stream earlier. I don't know if you were aware.
I was asleep.
It was about 4 hours, was it, Derek?
Yeah, all the UK guys are pretty much on when I'm in bed, so it's
yeah. I dipped in and out. He was listing various electricals and trying not to break them while he was cleaning and refurbishing them. Hey,
oh dear.
He wasn't using that term. I've been there recently, as you may know. So yeah, Damien's in. Started with George this morning and hasn't really stopped. Yeah, George is going live at like a time in the morning I don't see, like 8 o'clock in the morning or something, every day.
I know I'm supposed to be being earmarked for one next week or something. A 10-minute, you want 10 minutes, so.
Nice. You going? Well, he messaged me, and I was like, I don't do mornings. My time scale is so kind of slipped again. I was still up at 5 a.m. this morning.
You're living on the wrong continent.
Yeah.
Because your time scale, I'm up and about during the day, and you'll send a message, and I'm thinking it must be about 4 a.m. over there. What are you doing up? You was on a chat the other day, and it was like 3 a.m. over there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's a bit silly. Stu's here for the grumbling, grizzling, and general mardiness. There you go. See, we've got a hardcore of grumpy old men in, and a few ladies. Sorry, Lainey, not leaving you out. And others. I'll get in trouble. I need to stop talking. Okay, I'm going to scroll to the end. Apologies if I haven't said hi, but that's all we'd do if that's all I did. So let's get to the end. Okay. So yeah, what's on your list then? What's that all about?
There's a few things. It's a random mixture of annoyances in the past few weeks. Mainly old people. If there's old people in the chat, I do apologise. I'm not having a general, because we're all going to get, well, some of us are nearer than others, but, why do they encourage technology in shops, which they don't even train the staff to operate, let alone expect some 80-odd-year-old person to even comprehend what they're looking at, never mind what they're supposed to do with it. It's in the post office about 2 weeks ago, and this poor old guy's there, and she's saying to him, "Oh, chip and pin," and he's like, he was clueless.
Yeah.
You can't exactly go over and help them because, well, for one, you don't know them, and they might think, they've got their access to their details. 2, I've got to stay 1.5 meters away from him.
Mm-hmm.
And even in our post office, these little X's on the floor, I don't know what tape measure they've used, but some are about 2 meters, some are about 0.5 meter. It's like they've just fitted it in to fit in with the shop layout. It's not really any 1.5 meter distance. It's like just randomly thrown down, and I was just so. My post office is the great, but the guy who ran it sold it. It was like a franchise of Australia Post, and the new guy who's got it now, he's turning it into, like you have pound shops in the UK where you go in and you can buy everything's a quid.
Yep.
It's you walk in now and it's like being in one of them stores. There's like random bits of rubbish on the wall that you can buy. It's a post office. Why would I want to buy a beach towel? I'm an hour away from the nearest beach to begin with.
They're not selling towels, surely.
Oh, seriously, yeah, a beach towel. Jigsaws. I did look at the jigsaws actually because they're all brand new and sealed, obviously, but he wants more than what people are getting crazy prices for on eBay, and I'm like, I'm going to have to find a new post office.
Talking about is there an echo whenever I talk from your end? No, I thought there was. Okay. Talking about the older generation, shall we say, struggling with technology. Now in the UK, to try and, as we maybe come out of lockdown, they're trialing an app that tracks where you are and tracks have you come into contact with anyone who may have it, etc. And it's a way of tracking where the virus is spreading. And then there was a news report on, I think it was ITV. Now, the elderly are most at risk from this. We're all aware of that. And they're the ones who've got smartphones, like a Nokia 3210 that was given to them by somebody 20 years ago, And they can't get the app even if they wanted to. And I think a lot of them, and it's not everybody. I mean, my parents have got smartphones and they're quite up to date. Many, even if they've got a smartphone, won't even know how to get hold of it or how to use it. And, I think they're the ones that are really going to need this tracking app, if anyone. But they're trying it now on the Isle of Wight. They're trying to get as many people on the Isle of Wight to test this tracking app and see if the technology works right now.
Yeah, there's a big. I don't know if the lady's in, but I speak quite regularly to a lady over here. She's in. She lives about an hour away from us. Anyway. She's called Dawn. Dawn Sherry Paul, I think, is a username. She doesn't put videos out, but she's active in a lot of the chat. And I've been talking to her, and they're trying to introduce over here a similar app. They want people to download this app, but it's kicking off big time in certain areas because the people are seeing this virus being used as the smoke screen to get an app downloaded on your phone so they can track the nation. And I won't be downloading it for sure. I mean, if they wanted to find you, they will anyway. They can tap into there's things on
that argument comes up time and time again. It's like it doesn't matter what technology people talk about.
But
no, it's all a conspiracy. The government want to know where you are, and it's like, and what? And
what? But I think it. As I've got older, I've got surprisingly more grumpy. Nobody's
surprised.
All right?
Nobody's surprised. Okay? Maybe nearly choke on my tea. Nobody's surprised.
So I nearly died on a cup of tea the other week. I nearly choked on a tea bag.
I've got to say, I know Shandy said that, hey, there are some techie oldies. Absolutely. And I said that, but it just struck me as ironic that what they're trying to bring out that should be there to protect that generation. They're the ones that, if any, are going to struggle to use it, right? That's all I'm saying. I know there are many people way older than me cope better with tech than I do.
Yeah, I mean, all right. I was moaning at the fact. I wasn't moaning at the guy. I was moaning at the fact that this technology is put in place without educating the staff in some cases, let alone giving these older generation any idea of how to use the stuff. You can see why they get scammed and pensions robbed and everything, because they just move out. They're pressing anything. Anyway,
I'll tell you one thing that it's not something I'm grumpy about, but it does concern me a bit. In Australia, do they use the contactless? Yeah, you've got contactless technology for your bank cards. Yeah,
on your phone.
You can use your phone, but a bank card, my regular bank card, Visa debit, I just touch it on a machine and it pays instantly.
Oh yeah.
Is it just me? But that seems so easy. Let's say I drop my bank card. You could pick it up and go in 10 shops within half an hour, and I think it's up to £30. All you got to do is just waft it over a machine. No pin asked for or anything. So you could just run around town with any stranger's card, and there's no pin or checks or anything done. I don't know if that sort of crime has increased since.
I would say so. I mean, Adam Watcher 1421, he's just commented there about a metal wallet, the RFID blocker. I know a few people who've got those wallets, which because people have actually. I've heard, not personal experience, but I've heard cases where people are actually walking past people and managing to get the data off the phone with whatever device they've got, just casually walking by and brushing by. And that metal wallet apparently is supposed to act like a shield. Good luck getting any money out of my account.
I've heard of people that have paid for stuff by just not even knowing they've done it. You know what I mean? Or been at a bar and somehow paid for a round of drinks.
Oh yeah,
magic.
We've all been there.
All of that sort of thing. Yeah, after a few, I've done that. But, yeah. Edward's saying there, years ago, I was amazing with computers and things. Now I'm paying for website development because I can't get my head around it all. I'm only 43. Well, there you go. I do struggle to keep up with tech. I do okay, but nothing, and I've said this before, nothing gets me from normal to red mist quicker than tech not doing what it says it should. I just go, you ask Andrea, I mean, this room is just like, the words that come out of my mouth, You wouldn't believe it. And it's always due to the Mac or the phone not talking to each other, or YouTube not doing something, or putting a poxy little message up saying, come back in 10 minutes and try again.
Yeah.
Oh, all of that. Just, I don't know what it is, but it makes my blood boil.
Yeah, really rubbish internet connection does it with me. I was talking to Andrew, Drew's metal detecting reselling, the other day. I actually went out the other day to a post office, and on the way back, I thought I'll call in Lifeline, which is like a big charity shop over here. And I know they'd been shut, and I thought, I'll go and see if they were open again, because apparently the one in the next town was open. Anyway, typical, the one near me wasn't. So I had to then go around the back roads, and I had to get diverted, etc. I ended up in the middle of blooming nowhere. I was talking to Andrew on Messenger, over the while I was driving. I didn't have it in my hand; it was on hands-free, and it just kept dipping in and out. And that's one thing that frustrates me about certain parts of the country. The internet is shocking. They've got better internet connection in Nigeria, and they're supposed to be a flipping third world country or whatever.
Well, it is a massive country that you're in there. I mean, we've got it easy, really, trying to get coverage here. But
well, that's no excuse. I mean, it's like you give someone a car, you don't say you can have the wheels in a week's time, do you? You want to use the thing.
Yeah.
That's irritating. But other than that, I mean, it's great. Looking outside now, it's glorious sunshine and.
It was nice here today. You'd have loved it. Not a cloud in the sky. And I tell you what we noticed. We were out walking. We noticed it the other day, actually, more so. Not like contrail from a plane. Not one in the sky. Just pure blue. Because the planes aren't flying, or really infrequently compared to normal. And we're on the flight path to Luton Airport. So normally you go out and you can hear one constantly. You don't notice it, but you can always hear one, and see the contrails everywhere. Just nothing.
Yeah, somebody posted somebody in America posted a picture of the same skyline in, I think it was Los Angeles, before and during there was 3 separate photographs, and the contrast in the pollution was unbelievable. Like at the very beginning, you could hardly see the horizon. It was shocking, and now it's like really blue skies. But as soon as we all get, all go back to normal, we'll mess everything up again. We always do. We're humans. I've always said for years that I mean, this is going to be a right doomsday kind of scenario. What I'm saying, but when the human race finally leaves this planet, it'll be the best thing that ever happened to it.
I wouldn't argue.
Cause more damage in X amount of years than anything else ever did in millions of years. No.
It's a good point, well put, and I think you'd struggle to find someone that would argue against you on that.
I don't know. They'll be scrolling up in a minute.
I highlighted Ashley there. Going back to contactless, she reckons they've just upped the contactless limit to aid with cashless transactions. So can you imagine somebody, who wants to make good with your card? I mean, not that they can run around a lot of stores right now, but petrol stations are all open. They could whiz around and, rack up a huge bill quick. I wonder if you get that money back as well from the bank. Don't know.
Well, you have to have it in first, don't you? It won't be a problem for me. At the moment, mine's a bit shy on the old coffers at the moment.
Welsh wonder, Nia. I'm not so good with technology. Just about to set up a Zoom chat with friends. Yeah, well, we've kind of got our head around Zoom now. It's quite good, that program, actually. And because I can't go to the pub and do my regular league poker game, we've set that up on a poker website, and then we have a Zoom chat. So we're all sat there taking the mickey out of each other and taking a pop at each other, So it's like being in the pub. It's great. We're all sat there with a beer, playing poker here on the screen and Zoom chatting there. It's perfect.
Right. This might sound a stupid question, but I thought about this the other week when you said you was not doing your poker matches anymore and you was doing it, separate. Are you playing an online poker match, or are you still? I'm not going to repeat the rest of it because it does sound stupid the more I'm thinking about it. I actually thought you'd be sat there with each have a pack of cards.
Oh, Rod, come on. Seriously?
I thought, how are they not cheating?
Well, just give it. It'd be like, I've got aces. I've got aces. How can you have aces? No, it'd be the old Del Boy moment. They're not the cards I dealt you. No, you Wally. We're using a poker website, and you can set up a home game, and then the site runs it for you.
I regret saying that comment though.
Yeah. Oh dear.
I'm just talking about technology. Oh my God, and old people. Oh Jesus, I'm there already.
Right, I've caught up in the chat. Cool. Well, the one thing obviously that I had quite a moan about last Sunday was just this bizarre thing that went on. I order chunky big bubble wrap, and economy at scale, it pays to buy as much as you can kind of store when you buy it, right? So I bought basically a 6 foot tall roll cut in half, and I don't know how long they are, but it's a massive thing. And then Sunday afternoon, I nearly didn't answer the call as well because I didn't know the number, so it didn't come up with mum calling or whatever. And I thought, oh, it might be somebody asking a question about an eBay item, which it quite often is. So I answered it, and then the person goes, "Hello, I'm looking for a Mr. Hills." I'm like, "Oh, here we go. Okay, yes." And they said, "Well, there's a great big roll of bubble wrap in my neighbour's front garden, and they've asked me to try and find out, what it's all about. Do you know what it's about?" And I'm like, "Yes, I've ordered some bubble wrap." And I'm like, "Where are you?" And he says it's in some village, like I think it's about 7 miles away from us. And I was like, I don't understand. I'm like, was it delivered there? No. It was just found in the garden this morning. I'm like,
why did they deliver it there? I mean, 7 miles. I mean, you can imagine if it was like 2 houses down the road, but 7 miles away.
Well, so I said to the guy, he says, "Do you want it?" And I'm like, yes. It's like 30 odd quid's worth of bubble wrap. Yes, please. I said, "Well, give me the address, and if you're about, can I pop round now?" And he said, yeah, I'm here. I'll just leave it outside the house. You just pick it up and go. So, and I thought what it'll be a similar road name with maybe a similar postcode or something. But
yeah,
our road name and theirs couldn't be more different. The road it was in was like School Lane, I think. Ours is nothing like that whatsoever. Completely different house number. Postcode was totally, utterly different. It's actually in Bedfordshire. We're in Hertfordshire. It was just, I don't get it. I mean, there are several theories. One, Andrea reckoned that the guy took it out of the van to get to a parcel.
And forgot about it.
Delivered it, forgot to put it back in. But it's like as tall as me, literally.
I don't know I can kind of go with that. I mean, the poor delivery drivers caught some stick for this now at the depot, I'd imagine. But yeah, I mean, if he's under the pump to deliver parcels and there's always social distancing and things like that, and he's just dragged it out and put it to one side. Yeah, I could go with that. Yeah, fell off the back of a lorry.
But now I'm thinking about let's say he gets this because it's massive. Get it out of the way. Where's that little box, that little Amazon parcel? Oh, grab that. And then he runs off that way. He puts the thing there, runs off that way, delivers it, comes straight back to the driver's side. So he's blindsided to where that is.
Yeah.
And then drives off. And then somebody's driven up the road and gone, "What's this in the way?" and hoofed it in the front garden. So that could be the series of events.
I'd have threw it in my boot.
Well, yeah. You would, wouldn't you? Mel says fell off the back of the truck. But you see, pretty much all delivery vans in the UK are completely covered and have doors on the back because it rains here all the time. I don't know. So, because somebody else
I get reminded of it by Andrew every single day.
Yeah. Somebody said, I think, on the Sunday video that it would have blown off the back of the lorry. But no, they're all covered. You can't have a delivery lorry that's open.
I mean, even though it's bubble wrap, there is some weight in it. It'd take a good gust of wind to blow that into someone's garden and then stand it vertically.
Yeah. I don't know if it was stood vertically, but also that it comes in a massive bag to kind of protect it and hold it together. And that ripped. and the rip was upwards, so it had just filled with water. It weighed a ton. It must have been a gallon of water in it. When I lifted it up, it's like, how heavy is this bubble wrap? And then I realised it was absolutely waterlogged. So the seller, and I said to the seller in the email, I was very frank and open about what I'd had to go to get my parcel, what I'd had to go through. And then I said to him, I do appreciate, because I'm a seller, it's not your fault. You put your trust in the courier and they've messed up. But I still don't have a product that's usable. I've actually tried it out since. But at that point, I had some absolutely unusable bubble wrap and was, out of petrol and time and everything. But they were great, to be fair to
how many? What kind of length are you talking about? If you were to unroll this, what meterage was it?
I can't remember offhand.
How have you managed to dry that out?
Well, we had a really hot day, so I just unrolled it in the back garden.
This is what I'm getting at. How big's your garden? Because that's probably about 50 meters long. Is it that unrolled?
The back garden's tiny, so it went up and down and up and down and up and down.
And you still managed to roll it up. I can't even.
Yeah. That's been rolled up again.
That is very neat. Mine had just been a big ball of just mess. Just thrown in the shed somewhere.
So anyway, it was one of those. The downside is that it's covered in grass now. It's got bits of grass all over
it. You could blow it off.
Anyway,
with an airline or something.
Did they have a hill in their garden? Did the driver get confused? No idea. Probably just a tired out driver who took it out and forgot. I think that's the most likely thing, to be fair. Yeah. Is what it is. Truck with a roller door at the back. Yeah, sometimes they sort of bounce up and down.
I think which courier company was it? I mean, I don't use them, but what was it? A big player, or was it one of these little independents?
It was a smaller one. What was it? Tufnells, which I think somebody said was the big green parcel machine or something like that. I think they operate under. I might have got not a firm I've ever used, and they're probably absolutely fine. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. I mean, I'm not, it's not a big deal, to be honest, but
it's an annoyance. But So was you actually, like, when you ordered it, it's been delivered to somebody else? Was you ready for putting like an item not delivered case in or something? What was the time scale from ordering to finally getting it?
Yeah, I kind of expected it to have been here. Probably on the Monday, I would have messaged and said that was probably the end of the kind of due date period, I think, the Monday.
Yeah.
And then I might have fired off a message. I tried to use the tracking number and it didn't give me any information. I put a tracking number and it was like just nothing came back. So they hadn't even pretended to have delivered it somehow.
I mean, it's a good job you had Inspector Clouseau on the job, really, managing to track you down. I know he could have got your address details, but then go into the phone book and etc. Most people would have just chuck it away. It's nothing to do with us,
Yeah, I was surprised. And not all couriers have your phone number on the parcel. A lot of them do now, so the driver can phone you up and say, like, I'm lost, where do you live, sort of thing. But to have the presence of mind to actually ring that number and speak to me was great. Otherwise, that would have just been binned somewhere. At least we've managed to salvage it. It's not, like I say, it's not great because it's covered in bits of grass and stuff. It'll be usable now, because Andrea and I said, well, I don't want to dump it because it was absolutely wringing wet. And I thought, well, it's useless. Yeah. And then when the weather changed, it was really bright. I said, I'll have a go at just laying it out in the garden and see what happens. And it dried out okay. So it will get used, but I'll have to be picking bits of grass out of it all the time now.
Yeah, you not got a little air compressor or something? You could just give it a bit of a toot over with before you. I don't know, it's going to the extremes there, isn't it?
I don't know. Well, most of the time I cut little sections off, so I just waft it about in the office. Be fine.
Well, Dave's just put a good comment there. Has it Dave changed his name? Dave Repairs now, is it?
Yeah, I think that's to do with your channel, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, if you'd have kept one of them Henry Hoovers, you could have vacuumed it.
I've still got one that's a bit knackered.
Yeah,
that I'm
is it not refurbed?
I didn't refurb that one. It was funny on that video because I thought it was worth making that video just to show that, you know, I do things and I learn from it and I take feedback, and I think everyone should be open to saying, yeah, that wasn't quite right, and going, yeah, fair enough, change my mind. But on that video I've already had comments of people saying, no, you were right, Nick, they were refurbished, and people are like now having it saying, no, Nick, you weren't wrong, you were right. And I'm like, well, whatever.
It all boils down to accountability, doesn't it? I mean, if you, I've had some, there'll be a few people. I've seen a few people in the chat scrolling up, and I've had some personal messages and some comments on my YouTube at the moment regarding the direction I've decided to go with that. You know, and I've tried to be as accountable as possible on the videos by, you know, just saying, look, you know, these aren't going to make you a lot of money. They're just pocket money ideas. I just find it very. It satisfies the curiosity in my mind about every avenue of making money, no matter how big or small or how ridiculous the idea might sound. But you took account for your actions. You know, you sat back, you looked at the comments you were getting, and yeah, you know, you reflected on it, and perhaps it wasn't the best decision, but at least you came out and, you know, to all intents and purposes, held your hand up and said, yeah, you know, this perhaps wasn't the best thing to do.
Yeah, and that's as simple as that. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go and get a glass of water. I'll leave you in charge of the channel for 2 minutes.
Oh Jesus!
Hold that thought.
I'll scroll up, have a look at some of the chat then. Where are we? It's as far as I can go up. Yeah, just to the bishop. So Dave Repairs, you're now doing household. Oh, I can't click on it and put it on the screen, can I? You're now putting more household electronics on your channel. Well, Ken over here, perhaps if you're in the same line of work as Ken, I mean, Ken's background is all repairing electronics and things like that. To you, you know, might be on the same kind of direction with your channel. That's the saying about Ken. Like Dave's, you said Dave's changed his name, and he said he's putting more household electronics and repairs on his channel. And Ken's put in a few. I think he put a video out yesterday on actually gutting PlayStation 2s, repairing minor issues in them. I'll just move over a bit. And putting brand new cases on, aftermarket cases. But you know,
okay. Yeah. Well, we've had this conversation before, haven't we? And I know you did a video about a Hoover, funnily enough, and that's done.
Oh, my Dyson.
Yeah. And there's a huge market for how-to videos if you can get the traction with them, and I think it's a great idea to put stuff like that out. So go.
My best performing video out of all the stuff I put on isn't actually reselling related. It was repairing. Well, it wasn't repairing. It was stripping down the canister on a Dyson vacuum cleaner. I think it's had about 9,000 views, but I mean, just don't quote me on that. You know.
Oh, the irony that your best video is you actually refurbishing a vacuum cleaner.
I never once used that word in any aspect of that video.
No, but you were actually refurbishing it. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, I did completely strip it down all the way, and there was one point where I thought, "Am I going to get this back together?" But I had the threat of Trish going buying a brand new Dyson for about $1,200 hanging over my head, so I soon got my acting gear. Yeah, but that's my best performing, as they say,
yeah,
contribution.
So Should we talk a little bit about the direction of your channel? A couple of people have said in live streams, what's going on with Rod and what's Rod up to, and because your channel's kind of gone in a direction now where it wasn't before. So is that a permanent thing for you?
Well, there's a few people. Mel's in the chat now, and I think Mel was getting quite concerned a few months ago. I think she thought I was going off the rails, and I was like, I was winding her up the other day. I was saying I was converting to Islam, and just the conversation. You'd have had to seen the conversation, anyway. But basically, reselling, I'll always still do it. I may not do as many videos about it, and I'll still join in the chats, etc. But if I'm being honest, there's a severe tiredness, maybe boredom factor with reselling from a personal point of view. Not the community, just the physical part of doing it. I've been buying and selling rubbish and what have you since I was about 14, at school, and then when I was doing an apprenticeship, etc. And so I've always been doing it since about 14, and I just think I'm a bit over it at the moment. I just need something different that satisfies me curiosity with making money. Like I say, regardless of how ludicrous the idea may sound or how much you may or may not make. So I just decided it has caused a split on my channel. I'll be honest. I've lost quite a few subscribers, but hey, that's
I think
people's opinions.
Oh, there was that echo.
Well,
did you hear it?
No. It's just people have opinions, and if everyone thought the same, then no one would speak to each other because we wouldn't have a conversation. I respect people. I respect people's opinions. If it's not for them, fine. But you voluntarily came. You can voluntarily find something that satisfies your YouTube experience requirements. But at the moment, I just want to just explore it. I'm okay with that. If other people aren't, well, I can.
So in the chat, can you hear that echo as well? Let me know if you can hear it.
I can't hear any echo.
No, I know I can on here. Let me know in the chat. So for those that don't know, basically you put out a series of videos, and they're coming quite regularly, which is good, about different ways you can make money online, not with physical stock. Essentially, that's kind of the overarching thing. So it's one of them, which did catch my attention, was the earn money whilst just for listening to the radio. And I know you made sure to put out in that one, you won't make a lot of money doing this, but I think the idea that you're trying to put across it, if you're doing like 10 of these things, it'll add up. But not one of these is going to get you rich. They're not get rich schemes. It's about multiple streams of income type of thing.
Taking the radio one, for example, like you say, yes, I did put at the beginning of the video, you won't get rich.
Okay, the echo seems to have gone. Okay. It keeps coming and going. Okay.
You won't get rich. In fact, you'll probably earn pennies. But there was a number of points that I tried to address. Maybe I did or I didn't. I'm not sure on that video. Those of you who do reselling, like you'll do your packing or your listing, you'll have maybe YouTube on in the background. You'll have some background noise. I would say 90%. Maybe it's the radio or YouTube. All I was thinking of that one was, look, there are radio stations, internet radio stations, which will pay you to listen to their channel because they want the ad revenue in between. And like I say, yeah, you are getting a ridiculously low value of money. But some of the radio channels there is, I mean, I sent you a message the other day. There's an actual one dedicated to just 80s music. It just plays pure 80s. Like your favorite bands, Depeche Mode, everything, 24 hours a day. So there's different genres.
We listen to
So,
absolute 80s over here. There's
right.
absolute 80s, 90s, all of them. Yeah.
So it's like just you may as well have it on and get something, over the over the course of a year. But yeah, you're right about the point of several of these streams. I've always been a believer in never put all your eggs in one basket. Because it's just gonna one day it's just gonna fall and everything's gonna break. If you've got as they say, multiple streams flowing into one bucket, if a few of them just die off for whatever reason, you've got others flowing in, keeping you at least some revenue coming in. But yeah, you're right. You're not going to make masses of money with a lot of these ideas. I'm just exploring. It's at the moment, it's satisfying my curiosity, and that's something that isn't being satisfied with reselling at the moment. It's just
the one that did seem to make particularly sense to me was the one where you go and you do like a survey and they pay you for doing a survey. So you literally go in and give your opinions on X, Y, and Z. And that's through an app that they act as a middleman, I think, between a company that wants information on their product or their services and you, and the middleman pays you $2, $3, $5, whatever, to do a survey. And like you said, you can be sat doing your business in the toilet 5 minutes and earn $1. And if you do that every day for a year, that's a weekend away in a hotel, right? So
that was the first one I put out. That was about, I think the app is actually based in the UK. It's called Street Bees. Basically, they put, like you say, they put very, very short 3-minute to 5-minute surveys on, which they're not too probing. They just want your opinions on. A lot of it's been regarding the virus at the moment, people's opinions of shopping habits, this, that, and the other. But I was saying to you the other day, I'm going to do a follow-up video of it because I did get a lot of flack for it, both on the video comments and personally through Messenger and what have you. But my point in getting that across was this is more, it's time when you sat, like you just said, doing your business, or you sat maybe on a public transport going to work, you just be sat there, so make use of it. Now I'm going to do a follow-up video in 6 months' time as to how much I've actually earned, because people only see the short term. They don't see the bigger picture.
You're totally right. I think if you do a video, or that video, for example, and you say to them, this survey will earn me $2. This survey will earn me $1. People mentally think, well, it's not worth it. But yeah, if you come back in 6 months and say, I've earned X hundreds of dollars, people will go, hundreds of dollars. And instantly, that's a brilliant idea. But yeah, I think people need to be, I guess, kind of spoon-fed the numbers and the logic of it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean,
Aids watching from the bath.
Oh,
I do that sometimes. I watch YouTube in the bath. Don't drop your phone, Aid.
I was going to say, what happens if you drop your phone? You wouldn't want to be on a live stream if you dropped it, would you?
Oh, don't.
But yeah, people, like I said, people just see the short term, they say, $2 for 5 minutes. But I'm not doing that, blah, blah, blah. But then if you come back in 6 months and say, hey, look, I earned $600 in 6 months for just a couple of minutes a day, a couple of times a day, in a day, that's just paid for my road tax, my insurance, whatever. Oh, all of a sudden it looks more, because like you say, it's a bigger chunk of money rather than a few little bits.
Exactly.
But, I mean, Daryl, the sweat mopper, yeah, he's right. That most of them are minimal, and it is a little bit of extra cash, not much, but over a longer time period, it just adds up.
Yeah. I just want to thank Toys Are for Boys for the super chat. Appreciate that. If you can't take it, you shouldn't play with fire. Let's cook. Be safe. Be happy. Full send. Full send. If I read that right.
No.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I don't like the number she's given you.
The number of the beast, that is.
Yeah. I sent Nell a super chat on a live the other week, and she never put it up on screen, and she won't refund me.
You want my money back? Chris,
Yeah,
I think
worked hard for that $2.
Yeah, while sat on the toilet, Mel. Hey, Chris says he's probably too busy playing with his duck now, Lane. I think that's talking about Aid now. Oh, trying out. Hold on, chocolate orange bubble bath. That it's not brown, is it? I'm picturing horrible. No, that's wrong.
Oh no.
Anyway, quick, move on. Mel says, I can't read the chat. It's not easy, Mel. It's not easy.
Hang on a minute. Someone sent her $10 yesterday. Super chat. She read that one.
Well, now you know the price. See, to get me else to read it out, it's got to be at 10. There's Brad and Jazz. Welcome. Oh, Pete's in. Pete was live just before us. How does it feel to be old, Peter? Officially old now. You've hit 30. That's young.
Peter's like the Peter Pan of reselling, isn't he? You look at his videos. He put some pictures up rather of when he was about 18 on holiday in Spain or wherever, and then you look at him now and it's like he's not really changed. He's just like it's not fair. Oh dear.
So I was just absorbed in the chat. He's dropped his chocolate orange in the bath. The bubbles are Mr. Matey, aren't they? Oh, I remember. Do you remember Matey bubble bath?
I do, but I never had any, and there's a reason for that. My dad was too tight. It was
in the bath. Is that what you had?
No, I don't think I had any. Just here's your soap. Get on with it.
Oh, but, tiny violin coming out for Rod.
He was Scottish. I mean, I'm half Scottish, so perhaps there's I'm not saying. I'll keep quiet. I'm not saying that Scotsmen are tight, but that's where copper wire was invented. It's like two Scotsmen fighting over a penny, and he was very frugal. Let's put it that way. Very frugal.
Nothing wrong with that. You can still get Matey, can you? I remember it from the 80s. It had like a bottle, and the cap was the sailor's hat.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, didn't they have a woman version as well?
Yeah, they had loads over the years. I think there was like a lady version of Matey.
Yeah. I've unfortunately got a lot of shower gel at the moment, which I thought was going to be my passport to greater things last year. You may recall when I was showing you about.
I remember well. Did it not go at all?
No, in a nutshell. I cleared. I followed your tactic of clearing supermarket shelves.
But did you film
mine didn't work.
The trick is to film yourself doing it. That's where the real money is.
Yeah. Basically, there's a product that was only released in Australia, and you could not get it anywhere else in the world. And it was Xbox Link's shower gel. And Woolworths over here is like a big supermarket, had loads of it, and even they were struggling to sell it. And they was selling it off for $2 a tub. And I think I ended up with about $300 of this stuff. I won't need to buy shower gel for perhaps till I drop dead. But the only two places I sold it was America. Sold two to America. I thought my big ticket with it was Amazon Australia, my nemesis. And Amazon wouldn't let me sell it because it fell under some category that I was gated in, apparently.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is do your homework before you buy the product. But sometimes you can't because it's like the opportunity's there.
Well, I wouldn't give up on that because it was a clearly limited thing. And it may just have been a lot of people had the same idea at the same time. I don't know if you had a lot of competition. I can't remember at the time.
There was a few on, but not many.
But it's not going to go off. I don't think it has links.
No.
Shower gel won't have a use by date, so try it again next Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I thought at Christmas, it was like you get like stocking fillers for the Xbox gamer in your house, and you couldn't get it anywhere else other than Australia. Why it was just released here, I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, if anyone wants any, just let me know. I've got enough of it.
Yeah. Adrian's got a house move date after 9 weeks of living around packed 9 weeks of living around packed boxes. That'd drive me nuts. Get the keys next Friday. Good stuff.
Is he able to move with this lockdown, though? Is he able to,
Yeah, I mean, I think you can do most things within reason if you are adhering to the social distancing rules. And that sort of thing, the wheels would have been in motion before lockdown happened. They can't suddenly say you can't sell your house, can they? Once, it's in the hands of the solicitors or whatever, and the wheels are moving, I guess you've got to go through with it.
Yeah. I know he a good few months ago, he put a few posts up, didn't he? He was dead excited that he was finally going to get somewhere which was bigger for doing his eBay and that. And he had all these plans for his photo booth and what have you, and shelving. So I'm glad it's working out for him.
I found my old Andy Cap talcum powder figure the other day. I wonder if it's worth anything. It could well be. There's a big collector's base for Andy Cap and that sort of stuff. I mean, that Andy Cap goes back. I remember my granddad having comic strips of Andy Cap.
Yeah, was that the one on the back of a newspaper on the back page?
It was in a newspaper, yeah. Basically a guy with a flat cap on and a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. He went to the pub a lot, wouldn't it? And him and his wife would just bitch at each other.
That's life, isn't it? It's probably socially incorrect now, though, isn't it? That whole image, cigarette bum.
It feels like everything is politically incorrect these
days. Yeah, I preferred a time when I was like in the 70s, like 76, 77, when, just riding my chopper around and, going out and messing with my mates.
For those youngsters, a chopper is a bike, right? He's not being...
Yeah. No, sorry.
A rally about means on a push bike, right? For those youngsters in the chat, I'm only messing. Yeah. Double Decker, thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. There's no message with it, though. I had a chopper, but see, it just sounds weird. Which was a kind of hand-me-down from the 70s, because they were issued mid-70s, weren't they? If not early 70s. And I had mine about 83, I think, when I was about 10. And
really?
Yeah. It was a very second, third, or fourth hand. But it all rusted up and gave up. And I remember it might have even been bonfire night. We chucked it on a bonfire.
But it was metal.
I regret it now because even knackered that you can sell them to restorers.
There's a website, and I think the guys in the UK, I looked at it a few years ago. I don't know if it's still going, but this guy actually buys specifically rally chopper original parts. He completely strips them down, everything, and the money he gets for them is unbelievable. There's a few bikes of that era. I think he did the Grifter as well. Do you remember the Grifter?
Yeah.
I think that was the bike where it had the gear change on the handle, didn't it?
Oh, maybe. I just remember a friend had one, and compared to, I had a Racer at this point, which obviously was designed for speed. It was quite light. Got on this Grifter thing, and it weighed like a ton. It was was it solid steel bars or something? It was like easy. Edward's off to bed. Yeah, take care. Hopefully going to be chatting with Edward on Friday. I think we're back on his channel, if I remember rightly. There's another super chat. It's Toys Are for Boys again. Full send equals don't let up, no matter what. Gotcha. I've never heard.
All right. Okay.
Canadian. Ah. I've never heard that phrase.
No.
Okay, I'll remember that one.
Talking of the 70s, I was in the tip shop about 2 years ago, and I found some Wombles, and but these are like candles. They're sat there, candles, but they're original from the 70s, and I was gonna sell them originally. There's only two of them. There's Orinoco and the woman. Can't remember what she's called.
Oh,
Madam something.
Madam
Chocolate something. Madam Chocolate or something like that. I can't remember.
I've got Madam Pomfrey in my head. Is that right?
No, about that on Doctor Who.
I don't know. The chat will tell us. Somebody will know. Who was the Lady Womble? Yeah. So you didn't. Why did you?
No, I was going to sell them, and Trish wouldn't let me because she loves the Wombles. Well, she did when she was a kid, and it appealed to her going back. Madam, that's it, Madam Cholet, or however you pronounce it. I don't know.
Chalet.
I knew it was Madam something. I thought it was chocolate.
I don't know where I got Pomfrey from then.
But the little candles, and she won't even light them. But you know when you get something like from a certain era, and there's no way you can fake the its appearance. There's no way you can fake it. You know, I'll grab one. I'll have to be careful because I've still got my pajama bottoms on.
Yeah, something. Edward would call it. It's patina, right? It's like vintage furniture where it's been touched by a million fingers, and it's got.
Yeah,
you can't fake something that's old, or make it look convincing.
So these things, they're like they've never been used, and I always get a little bit ooh when I see "Made in Hong Kong" on the bottom because that was the precursor to "Made in China," wasn't it? You know, everything when you was a kid was made in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll put them on screen, but the thing I'm saying about you couldn't fake it because the wax, they've got that real yellowy old waxy look. You know, I was tempted to light one once, but she'd have killed me if I'd have done that. Anyway, here's Orinoco, but they've never been used. There's Orinoco.
Oh wow, yeah.
But see what I mean about this yellowing?
Yeah, but it looks like beeswax. My dad's a beekeeper, and he makes stuff out of beeswax.
Right.
Beeswax naturally is that color, so they might. Does it smell natural? Like
you want to smell it?
Yeah. Does it smell of beeswax?
I don't know what beeswax smells like.
It smells a bit like bees.
They smell like honey.
Not really.
Come out of the same thing, don't they? The hive.
Yeah. Well, they might be beeswax. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. But there's Madame Cholet.
Oh wow, they're cool.
But you can see they've never been lit.
Yeah, the wicks are brand new. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they cost me 50 cents for the two, which is what is that about 25p, something like that. I couldn't leave them there. And anyway, as soon as Trish saw them, that was it. I'd lost them. So I tend to leave things in the shed now. I don't bring it in the house in case she sees it. There's the
Made in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. Anyway, it does say.
Andrea reckons beeswax does smell a bit of honey. So if they've got a slight honey whiff, they might well be. Put it to your ear. Does it buzz?
Oh, there's a good one.
So we're supposed to sniff bees. No thanks. Yeah, I don't get on well with bees or wasps. And my dad has, I don't know how many hives he's got currently. It fluctuates because a lot of the colonies don't survive through the winter. I'm not sure how many he's on this year, probably somewhere around 20. And they will have many tens of thousands of bees in. So my dad owns millions of bees, and I don't get on with bees. I tried to get involved with him, you know, father son thing. Yeah, this would be cool.
Yeah.
They just sting me. Even with the bees though.
Yeah. I have a mate over here, and he had beehives. It's actually my neighbour over the way. He had about 8 beehives at the back of his property, and the amount of honey he used to get out of it was unbelievable. I mean, he used to pick these, I don't know what you call them, these frames, I suppose.
Frames. Yep, frames.
Yeah. And the weight.
Yeah.
And what he used to do, he had this machine which he put it in. He did this, and it centrifugally spun the honey out of the
I know that side of honey production. I know inside and out, because I've sat with my dad, sharing a beer and extracting. It's called extracting, and that thing that spins it is a honey extractor. And you can get a hand. The first one Dad had was basically a massive barrel with a handle on it, and it all goes, and the centrifugal pulls it all out, and out of a little thing at the bottom into a big bucket comes honey.
Yeah, this has got a tap on the bottom, and you just drain it off. And you occasionally get the odd floater, a bee in it. And,
you get bees going as they go down the thing. So what Dad does is he'd have an arrangement of filters, so it'll go through a filter and then go through a finer filter. Before it's jarred, it'll go through like another thing. You have to go through certain steps legally to sell it, because Dad sells his honey, and it's his hobby and he loves it. He makes a fortune out of honey, because the price in the last decade has shot through the roof on honey. He's getting, I think it might be at £5 a jar now.
Well, I must admit, again, I suppose in some weird way, it's going back to what I was saying before about satisfying that curiosity. I've never really had any hobbies, I'll be honest. I mean, when I was a kid, I tried stamp collecting, sheer boredom.
Well, I think making money and wheeling and dealing's your hobby. It is life.
Yeah, it is. It has kind of been a 40-year experiment, and if I see an opportunity that I can have a dabble in, I'll probably give it a go. Again, regardless of how ludicrous it might sound. But he was actually selling his hives, and I wanted to put. I mean, I've got at the back here. I've got a good amount of acreage at the back, and I was going to put him on because he was getting ridiculous amounts of money for this honey in jars, and honey never goes off. It will not deteriorate. It's like the ultimate self-preservative. You could have a jar of honey which is 30-year-old, you could still eat it. I'm not advocating that, by the way, but apparently you could still eat it. It might lose a bit of its taste, but it will not go off.
There's a lot to it. There really is a lot to learn. It's a living organism. If you don't manage bees well, they will swarm. And if there's a lot of management that goes on, and so many layers to it, and quite often through the winter you'll lose them all. They'll die if you don't manage them and feed them through the winter. Because if we take all the honey gladly through the summer, and then come the winter, the bees are going, "Where's all that honey we put away?"
Yeah, they've nothing to eat.
Yeah. So Dad feeds the bees like sugar water. Yeah. Which is like costs nothing to produce and give to them. Otherwise, the bees don't survive because we've nicked all their honey.
Yeah,
it makes sense, right?
He used to sell not only the honey, but the actual beeswax.
Yeah,
and he used to sell this beeswax to there was one guy who used to do furniture restoring.
Yeah,
and he loved it because it's supposed to. I mean, I'm not a French polisher, obviously, but he used to use it, and apparently it's one of the best mediums for polishing natural wood is beeswax. Anyway, so he was getting the money off the honey, the money off the beeswax. He was rolling in it at one point, and the reason he was getting rid of them, I think he was fed up of it, to be honest. And I was going to buy these hives off him, but my God, they're quite expensive. An established hive, and I said to him, I said, how do I know I'm not going to buy your hives? Bring them over the road. And it's like that eternal homing pigeon joke, isn't it? I've sold this homing pigeon 10 times. How do I know that bees aren't going to come back over to your place?
Yeah, it's a very good point. And I think there's kind of a minimum distance you'd have to take them before they go, hang on, we woke up this morning over there. Come on, lads. So I think there is a minimum distance. Otherwise, literally, you go, yeah, here's a few $100, and why are all my bees going back? What?
Yeah.
You sold me. I quickly need to say thank you very much, Ryan, for the super chat. He says your content is helping through lockdown. Stay safe. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, it can be a very lucrative business, but it's like farming anything. It's so involved. There's so much knowledge. But going back to that, I mean, my dad sells the honey. He sells wax in little blocks for furniture restorers and people who have certain musical instruments. I think it's used for, and all sorts of different reasons. And then my mum makes candles. Dad actually breeds queens and sells queens. He's done that. He buys queens from all over the world, and they come in the post in a little plastic thing with air holes, obviously, and a little block of sugar. And he's bought from around Europe. I think he's bought them from the States. It's a fascinating world, and I've been saying to my dad for years to write a book, and I tried to get him to start YouTube. In fact, he kind of said yes, he would. So I might try and do that, because he has, I don't know, 30 years of knowledge about beekeeping, and he's so enthusiastic about it. If you mention honey anywhere within 100 yards of my dad, he'll latch onto you and talk to you for an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean that's great. He's obviously passionate about it, and
totally.
You know, unless he writes all this down or gives it all this information to you, it's going to be lost, isn't it? You know, it's that experience, that knowledge.
I think
the one thing that put me off.
That's rosin. I used to have a violin, and it's like a harder, at least this is what I have, harder thing, rosin. I don't know where that comes from, but it may be beeswax used, but it wasn't what I had when I had a violin. It was, certainly called rosin. It was a really solid lump of stuff.
I think the one thing that put me off at the time about buying these bees, obviously, was money, the expense of it. But I went over one day to help him, and he said to me, I said, don't we need them uniforms that you see? You know, you see them on Midsummer Murders, don't you? You know, they're there in this big white gown with a mask and this thing blowing smoke out and everything. He says, oh no, he says, if you do it at certain times of the day, they're very subdued and they don't attack. Well, trust me, if anyone ever says that to you, ignore them. I got chased all the way back to my house by a big herd of bees, and they were like, oh my God, I got stung I don't know how many times. Luckily, I didn't go into one of them shock things.
Some people react badly to it. So is that the collective noun for bees? Is it a herd?
I have no idea, which is probably a good idea, a good enough reason not to get involved with the beekeeping community.
It's not for me. Totally not for me. And Laney's right. Without wasps, I don't get on with wasps at all. But with a world without wasps wouldn't be a nice place, because wasps, they're evil little buggers, but they kill off other pests. Well, every insect has a role to play in the circle of life, all of that.
So you have I remember bees in the UK, like being the honeybees, them big fat things with little wings, and apparently the native honeybee, bumblebee.
Oh yeah.
Apparently they're the only thing the only insect that defies the laws of physics. Don't believe me? Google it. A bumblebee, based on the law of physics, should not be able to fly based on the weight to wing surface area ratio, something like that. Anyway,
but they're all fluff. They've got a tiny little body in the middle and all fluff.
Well, I didn't create the laws of physics. So.
I made that. Don't quote me.
But Australia, now I know Drew's just popped in the chat, so I'm probably going to cop for it now, but apparently Australia does not have a natural honey bee for mass production of honey. The bees are actually imported. It's the European honeybee which is imported over for the mass production of honey. You do get Australian honey, but the mass-produced lion's honey type thing is produced from imported European bumblebees, whatever you call them. So I don't. You've got me thinking now. I might just. Oh, yeah, got thinking about getting a hive now.
Well,
that bit of.
I don't want to understate how much work is involved.
Oh no, there's a lot. There's a lot.
And to get an end product that you can sell. Well, if you've seen the extractor and all the steps, uncapping the frames with a hot knife, and then oh man, I've done it for hours with my dad, and then jarring it all up, and then and you have to go here in the UK anyway. You've got to apply or adhere to all the weights and measures legislation.
Yeah.
And there's red tape. If you're selling food stuffs, you know what I mean. So you have to. Oh yeah, it's
yeah. But that's. I know we have them.
I'm not trying to put you off, but
no. I know we have them laws and legislations over here as well. But where I live, it's like rural. I mean, I can go down the street 2 kilometers, and there'll be roadside things outside someone's house where they've grown, say, avocados or apples or whatever, and they'll put them at the side of the road, and there'll be an honesty box there. There's somebody literally 1K away who does sell honey at the side of the road. So, I wouldn't be too concerned about that aspect of it, but I probably won't do it anyway. But
yeah, well, Dad's got his operation to a point where he supplies certain shops, crate at a time to a butcher's and various shops, and he sells it through the village shop and all sorts, and he sells it over the doorstep. Yeah, it's quite a big operation he's got. Lainey says, have I seen you in a beekeeper suit in past videos? Feels like deja vu. I don't know.
What?
I don't think so.
Not me.
No. This apparently is true. I've heard that natural honey also helps with allergies as well. And all honey is natural. A lot of it is blended, but it is all natural, as in it's all been produced by bees. And because it has pollen traces in, that the theory is that you get your system used to it by ingesting the pollen. Couldn't tell you if it works or not. See, Chris saying the same local honey is good for allergies. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to do some work around this place first before I ever even think of buying any hives. I've got a lot of trees and stuff to chop down. I tried with the drought, I don't know if it was classed as a drought or what. I don't know. It's just one long. It just sort of seems to have had rain for ages. But a lot of my trees have just died. So I got out a weekend to get my chainsaw out, and I couldn't start it. I spent about 20 minutes pulling on this piece of string, trying to get a blooming chainsaw going. I've kind of made a decision now. If I ever buy anything again, I'm going to spend that extra money and buy something decent. Not one of these cheap things from China that you find in Aldi. I got the chainsaw from Aldi. I mean, I made this joke ages ago about, I went in for a bag of potatoes and come out with a chainsaw. I literally did. And it's been a rubbish chainsaw, and it, so I ended up trying chopping down trees with one of these little hand saws, like a pruning saw. I gave up in the end. I was sweating, but I've a lot of things to tidy up around here before I even think about doing anything like these. So,
Moon Dream says, my mum bought blocks of raw honey in the comb when she could and chewed it like sweets. Yeah. That's quite a popular thing. It doesn't do it for me, because basically you just end up with a lump of wax in it, because all of the comb is made by the bees out of beeswax. That's where it comes from. So you just end up chewing a lump of beeswax. But yeah, it's quite a kind of delicacy, honey on the comb.
Yeah, I've tried it with my neighbours. He's given me I thought he was taking the mickey out of me first when he said try it, but he kind of sucked the honey out of it almost like a lollipop and threw the wax away.
Yeah.
But he didn't tell me that at the point. And I'm chewing on it like an apple, and it's just like someone had melted a candle on my face everywhere.
Yeah, I think you're right, Pete. It is. I think the term would be a swarm.
Oh, is that what it is? Well, you always get one correcting you, don't you?
And rosin, what that I remember using on my violin bow, is a solid form of resin obtained from pines and other plants. I thought it might be plant-based. Yeah.
Oh.
You know, that gooey sap that comes out and sets rock hard.
Yeah.
I guess it's that.
Isn't that how they extract in Canada? Well, there's a Canadian in before, so you might be able to. Is that the maple syrup? Don't they hammer a peg with a tap into the tree and drain it off?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the knowledge we're imparting here is you can't get this.
We've got tiny little bits of knowledge about many subjects.
They're all useless.
Most of the knowledge we impart is probably wrong. Oh dear. Carbon dioxide says, did you know half of bees don't make honey? Well, I know that the male bees, the drones, are basically just layabouts who are just there to service the queen's needs, and it's the females, isn't it, that do all of the work. And I don't know the exact statistic, but to make a teaspoon of honey, I think a bee has to fly around the world a few times. It doesn't actually have to go around the world, but in distance
in its lifetime.
Yeah, well, bees' lifetime is tiny anyway. That's why the queen lays hundreds of eggs a day, and they produce new bees. They're churning them out on a daily basis because the bees fly around, and they work themselves to death effectively. In fact, their wings wear out, and then they can't fly.
Well, that's just replicated in human life, isn't it? It's like I'm going to get some stick here. All the blokes working the backside off while the queen bee sits back and
Don't come on here getting me flack. I can do that myself. Quite easily.
I actually asked my mate. He was showing me when he was showing me the bees. Actually, because he pulled them out, and half of them fell off and died, and I got squashed on the way out. But he was saying, "Oh, there's the queen bee." Mm-hmm. I'm like, how the heck can you identify this bee in this hundreds of other bees? And apparently, it had a blob of Tipex on its head.
I was going to say that it always put a dab of paint on its back.
Yeah, I was like, and I still couldn't see it.
Also, and I have when I tried very hard to do beekeeping with my dad, I've been there and I've looked through hives with him, and it doesn't actually take that long to work out. You kind of have to lose focus a bit, and then you'll see a pattern around the queen, because the queen is always attended by loads of bees around it. So it kind of, you have the slightly bigger one in the middle and almost a fan shape of bees all around it, attending it and stuff.
Right.
You almost see that pattern, and they all follow her around. But yeah, she blends in quite well, so you have to have a good eye to spot it. So a big blob of, like you say, Tipex is what most beekeepers do to take a shortcut. Yeah.
I still couldn't see that. At that point, I might have been heading in the opposite direction, screaming like a girl with this swarm, apparently now, of bees chasing me.
Eliza, I wouldn't argue with you. There will be countless other videos that will be more entertaining. We're basically here just having a chat, and if you wanted to join us and watch, fine. If you're not entertained, I wouldn't stick around. But I think we'll start wrapping up soon anyway. We've been on hour and 20. But yeah, okay. Wow, I've missed a load of chat. Did you ever find that rare plush teddy with orange handcuffs, Nick? No, I did find one at a car boot sale and got all excited, and then the bloke kind of knew it was valuable, and it was. I think it was George that had one that was worth hundreds because it was certain colours. So it was the kind of more common one, and the guy at the boot sale wanted about what it was worth. So I left it. What are they? My Pet Monster.
Was it I remember, was it a purple thing?
There's a couple of colours. I think, yeah, there is a purple one. I think maybe a blue one. And they have plastic handcuffs on.
Yeah.
And a big face.
Yeah, vaguely remember that.
Only just noticed that. Dad should supply Cadbury for their crunchy bars. Crunchy bars got honey in?
Yeah, they have it. This honeycomb sensor, isn't it?
Ah, but I'm not sure honeycomb's made of actual honey though. Isn't it just called honeycomb because it's got lots of holes in it? It looks like honeycomb.
Yeah, well, you could say the same for Aero, couldn't you? I won't buy. I refuse to buy Aero because no, seriously, Aero is the one chocolate bar I refuse to buy. I feel like I'm being swindled out of chocolate. It's like, well, how can we get more money out of people? We'll sell them something, pump it full of air. They'll be amazed at when they open it and it's this weird pattern, but we're actually charging them the same.
But
we've took half of it out.
They've been doing it for years, Rod. The classic, I think, is, I mean, mints have been around for since the dawn of sweets, right? Polo comes along, punches a hole in it, so you get like about, I don't know, a quarter less.
Yeah.
And sells them to you.
Yeah, I'm not keen on polos either. I cut my tongue on a polo once. Polos over here are called lifesavers, apparently.
Yeah.
I preferred tree bar mints. Do you remember them? They were super strong. Like, you couldn't drink a can of Coke after having a few tree bar mints. It was like just.
They were extra strong mints.
Yeah, is that yeah?
Yeah, I think they were tree bar ones. They were just like a kind of pastel-y, almost looked like a bit of chalk, but it would kind of set your head on fire.
Well, there's loads of food products that really get on my goat, but much to Trish's annoyance.
We'll have to save them for next time. Yeah, write them down and get a list. Right? And we'll find out Rod's pet food hates. Right?
There was one. Do you remember years and years ago? I'm probably going back to the 70s. It's like, and it came in a little square metal tin. It was about, I don't know, a centimetre deep, and it had this lid on it. I think they were called Tic Tac, not Tic Tacs, not the orange and the different coloured mint things, but they were like a little black sort of chopped off bit of square licorice type thing. They're blooming awful.
What were they called?
But,
what did they call them?
I keep thinking of Tic Tacs, but that's them other ones. I can't remember what they were. They were almost. They looked
not Pontifex, were they?
No. I remember them. There was two that was similar products at the time, and I always remember looking at them and thinking, these products look like they're out of the 1800s. Imps, that's it. Yeah, awful things. They're on a par with Fisherman's Friend. They are no friend of mine. They're the most disgusting sweet in the world.
Yeah, they even look awful, don't they? They're like a kind of muddy brown thing. Yeah,
they look like something you'd give your dog to cure fleas or something like that. It's like
yeah. Now, Kendal mint cake, I used to do hiking across Dartmoor, and we'd take that as an energy, actually use it for what it was intended for, which was giving yourself energy to get up a hill. Yeah,
there's just some certain sweets, I call them lollies over here, that should just simply not exist because they're just rank.
Yeah, okay. All right, well,
anyway,
hold that thought. We'll talk about that next time.
Really?
I have linked Rod's channel below. As we were saying before, your channel has taken a new direction, so please go over and have a look. Feel free to let Rod know your thoughts.
Oh, they will.
Floodgate for you there, Rod.
You're so kind.
And we'll do this again sometime.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to grab a coffee and I best go and do a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's now 11:30 at night here, so I'm going to get some listing done. Shall I show you quickly what I'm listing?
Oh, go on.
I bought a job lot ages ago. I've been finding old stock again of Kerrang magazines.
Oh, wow.
They're not old. Early ones, 1980s Kerrang magazines can be quite incredible. Yeah. These are like 2014, 2015. I'm doing them in bundles of 10 or so. Not a great deal of value in them, but I think I paid £2 the box full, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots. So I should end up with 50 odd quid for them.
In them magazines, just quickly, have they still got the original posters and things that the girls used to hang on the walls and things like that? Because they'll be worth more with the posters, I would imagine.
The later on you get, most of them are sealed.
Right.
So the bundles that are mostly sealed, I might push it to 15 quid a bundle, but the recent ones aren't worth a great deal. People try and sell them on their own for like £3, and it's like, well, take the postage off. It's like selling a CD for £3, which I do, but that's easy. Just put it in an envelope. These are quite chunky, you know. Anyway.
Yeah. The only reason I'm asking is I sold a Kylie CD within the last 6 months or something, but the CD still had the original poster that came with the CD of Kylie. And I was so tempted to sell a CD without the poster and just pin it up on my shed wall as I'm working away. You know, Kylie, oh my word. She wants me, she just doesn't realise yet. But but no, I saw the value of the dollar and sold it with it, and it really increased the value. I was, you know. I was shocked that this poster could add so much extra value to it.
Well, that's the bit that gets thrown in the bin or gets put on the wall and ends up getting thrown away. Oh, has Mel released the video about kinky books?
Yeah, I can't watch that because it's I think it's disgusting.
And no, Rod, these are not seller refurbished. These are as is. Anyway, why are we still talking? Right, let's go. Thanks, Rod, and thanks for joining us in the side chat. Thanks for the super chats. That's amazing. Do appreciate it. And we'll be back. We'll be back Sunday.
When you're on with Edward?
Not us two. Oh, I'm chatting with Edward. I think it's on his channel though on Friday.
Right. Okay.
During the day. Yeah.
Do you know what you'll be talking about?
Nope.
All right. Okay.
You know me. I plan about 5 minutes before the video. No, I haven't worked that out, to be honest. We'll have to have a chat. But take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.